Hi, this again is Ray Flanagan with the Potato Heads Podcast, episode number 8. I'm here again with Sheri Goodman Graham, plant-based dietitian and lifestyle coach, and her website is sherigoodmangraham.com. You can find her on Facebook. You can find these Potato Head podcasts on YouTube and on Sheri's YouTube channel. So how you doing today, Sheri?
Hi, Ray. I'm great. Fantastic. How about yourself?
Not too bad for an old fella.
It's good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. So today, Sheri, we wanted to talk about what's it like for you going out and eating outside of your home. It's pretty simple. Once you're into this lifestyle, I certainly don't have any problems at home. But yesterday I shot a Greek baptism, and it was quite a baptism ceremony at the Greek church. And then we went to a catering facility. And, there was probably 75, 85 people. It was the nice outside thing. And here came the waiters and waitresses with past hors d'oeuvres. So let me tell you what they had.
Yeah.
There was fried mozzarella sticks, right? Little round pizzas. There was chicken fingers, the chicken, little chicken pieces. There was pigs in a blanket. That's the hot dog with the little bun wrapped around it, and then scallops wrapped in bacon. There was no vegetable table with celery, carrots, broccoli, or cauliflower. That's what usually I would get through, but they certainly didn't have it at that point. And then when the dinner happened, it was a buffet dinner. And the dinner, there was a nice big old salad bowl, so I didn't have any problem with that. And I was pleased to see that they kept the cheese on the side. I think
Wow.
I think there was a vinaigrette on there, so I think I offered up that I'll have a little oil on my salad dressing, for that's not going to kill me. And then there was string beans and carrots, but a lot of times when they cook the string beans and carrots, maybe not like you and I would, they were probably a bit in butter. They were definitely cooked with butter. Then there was roasted, almost like a home fryer, roasted potato. I assume they were buttered as well. And then there was salmon. There was steak, there was chicken, and there was salmon. So the choices, I kind of loaded up on the salad and threw some they have nice Greek olives there. So I had the olives. And, you walk out of there with a big old plate of salad and knowing that I'll be all right. And I had a few string beans and carrots, knowing that there probably was a little bit of butter on there. But
I might have had the potato too. I love potatoes, and if they weren't like really greasy and deep fried and they were just kind of baked,
yeah,
maybe.
I had a few potatoes.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
uh,
why we're the potato heads.
That's it. That's it. And the last week I cooked some potato, and when I batch cook some potatoes at home, I do two big old monster sweet potatoes. Those things will hold me. You couldn't eat one of them at a meal. They're so big, so they last me 4 or 5 days, a couple of big monster sweet potatoes. But so I didn't, and of course, I was only at the event for a few hours. It's not like you can't eat when you get home, and it's not like you're starving, because I had a good healthy breakfast in the morning. So, what's your plan when you go out socially?
I think you handled that just right. I think what I want to make clear to most people that are out there watching us right now, it's best to eat at home the majority of the time, where you have the most control. You have control of the kitchen, what you're putting into your body. That's one thing you do when you're working with me. We really work on not dining out, because a lot of people are just ordering in and dining out because of convenience, but not for health reasons. And so for the healthiest option is to learn how to batch cook and cook delicious whole food plant-based at home, of course. But there's always those times where you have the social, like you said, the graduation, the wedding, the Christmas parties, those things come up, and you're absolutely right. There's just ways to get around it, and you gain confidence. Have you noticed, right, over the years of doing this, you're able to handle an outing like that, feeling very confident, knowing you can get the salad and the little potatoes, the carrots and the green beans, and come home and eat later. I would handle it the exact same way. In a social event, I just do the best that I can, staying away from the majority of the white flour, the sugar, the oils, the alcohol, as long as I'm eliminating those and finding if it's vegetables that has a little bit of oil, you're going to find that at parties and you're going to find that at restaurants. And so with the social events, you just really pull out the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I'm eating at home and being really healthy, and 20% I may have to have a little oil. I notice that I don't feel well after I have too much oil or the wrong kind of oil. I'm very sensitive to that. So, and I'm more apt now not even have that. One time I had a sesame seed, a seaweed salad at a party just recently, and I tasted it and it had the sesame oil on it. I was already into it. I was already in the party. And so kind of people have that people pleaser personality. You don't want to make an ordeal. And until you start working through that, I continued to finish it. But later I felt awful. My stomach just felt really bloated from eating the sesame oil. I'm really sensitive to it. So when you deal with the sensitivities, you're just more cognate about making those good decisions when you're out. You have to just do your best. And so in terms of social dining, there's so much going on right now with barbecues and eating outside, and family and friends getting together outside is so much fun. You just look for those vegetables. Sometimes you bring your own foods. I bring a huge salad, or I bring a huge thing of hummus or fruit salad, things that are so compliant for everybody to share, but mostly it's about what I'm going to eat while I'm at the barbecue. And when you go to a party like you did such a great example of doing the best that you can, making those choices. Until you're more confident, it's better not to eat out and it's better not to go to parties, I think. And dining out is another one. We spend so much time cooking and preparing our foods. I know that we work really hard to do that. We deserve to have a nice night out. And there are restaurants that you can find that can be completely compliant. You go to the side menu, you look for the side menu, you have a voice with your waiter and ask them to have it steamed instead of fried. And there's a variety of restaurants that we can go over. Like, I can give examples. Like sushi bars, you can get through the sushi bar with ordering vegetable sushi and having edamame and miso soup. You can go to pizza parlors. While there may be some white flour, it might be very thin, and you just ask for no cheese on your pizza, or like you just have the salad and go home and eat later. Restaurants, steak houses, if that's where you end up going, there's always really good baked potatoes and salad and steamed vegetables on the side. Go to the side menus. And one of my best tricks for dining out when it really stuck is I see a house salad. They're so small, and you know how big my salads are that I eat. I always order double house salad, so at least it comes full of, if it's just lettuce, at least it's lettuce, but sometimes you'll get some tomatoes and onions and a few other things on there. But when it's doubled, it's big and it's filling. And like you said, you can always go home and eat afterwards, or you eat before, so that you're not super hungry walking into the meal. You have better willpower to order, and the bread comes to the table. In a whole food plant-based world, if it's some whole wheat bread, you can have a piece of bread. You can have corn tortillas at a Mexican restaurant. Just stay away from the chips because we don't eat fried food. So ordering whole corn tortillas with whole beans, with fajitas. And I ask my waiter all the time, can you please cook my fajitas without any oil? Sometimes I don't understand. Sometimes I have to say I'm very sensitive or allergic to oil, gets the waiter's attention. So these are just little tools that you practice. And I think when you're eating whole food plant-based, it's important to go out and be social. You don't want to be stuck at home forever, but the majority of your meals should be cooked at home because that's where it's more affordable and it's more healthy. But you definitely can make it going out to eat. And traveling now. When I was traveling recently, I noticed that Delta had a vegan option on the airplane, so you can order vegan more. There's restaurants in the airport where you can find rice and vegetables. There's salads and sandwiches that you can get your way through it. If you're starting out as a beginner, you're more vulnerable. You're not as trained as being an expert. I've been eating this way for 15 years, and you've been eating this way a long time too.
Sheri, it's not a bad idea if you were going to a barbecue and you suspected there might not be anything for you. Maybe you stick a couple of portobellos and a zucchini or something in a bag and bring them along there. Maybe a pre-cooked sweet potato and throw that on the grill. Maybe when you sit down at the table, someone's going, where'd you get that portobello? Oh, I got my own. And maybe you might find a convert right there at the barbecue that really isn't into maybe eating a big old cheeseburger or steak or hot dogs. Hot dogs. I haven't had a hot dog long before I switched to whole food plant-based. I mean, we've known forever that hot dogs are no doggone good. They're, really, really nasty. So, I think I shared with you, I've been sprouting these last few weeks. I didn't think about it yesterday, but I probably could have brought a jar of sprouts right with me in my camera bag and stuck them right on my plate. And people will say, "Hey,
There,
where'd you
you
get those
have,
sprouts?" Because
yes.
you really could eat them right out of the jar. You could, take a few handfuls and eat them. I've been eating them like crazy these last couple of weeks. Super nutritious. From what I understand, the broccoli sprout is 50 times more nutritious than regular broccoli. But yeah, bringing something along. I cook these big old portobellos. They got to be as big as a hamburger. They
Yeah.
cook quickly, very, very tasty. And it's a good substitute for a hamburger or steak, something like that.
Yeah. And I'm not really in favor of the fake meats, the fake vegan, the Beyond Burgers or the Possible Burgers or the Morning Star. They're just as bad, in terms of for your health. They're just loaded with saturated fats and other chemicals. So I love the portobello mushroom. Or, like you said, just having a salad. When you bring the big giant salad that has everything in it and like your sprouts, that's one. Let's do another podcast, you and I, sweet potato heads, about sprouts, because you're right.
Sure,
That
for sure.
would have added protein, so much protein to your meal, and so easy to take.
Yeah,
And I want to encourage everybody and you could teach people how to sprout, Ray. Let's talk about that soon, because
sure.
I'm all in favor of that. But it's a sensitive subject. We make it seem simple, and I don't want people to think that I'm not empathetic towards the cause. Sometimes you have to talk to your host or hostess. Sometimes you have to talk to family members. It's not that easy. Sometimes you want to fly under the radar. You don't want to bring attention to yourself. Hi, I'm plant-based. Everyone is either going to ask you a bunch of questions because they're curious, or they want to pop holes and start an argument why you're not eating protein, and you don't want to always go down that road. So it's practice. It's not perfection, it's practice. I just want to encourage people to try it, not to keep that as an excuse. I hear that a lot when I talk to people that want to sign up. What am I going to do? I'm an executive and I travel. I'm a housewife that has families that don't eat it and do eat it. What am I going to do when all the family gets together and we have gatherings? And so it's all workable, it's all possible, but it has to first start with what you really want. And maybe you talk to your hostess and maybe you offer to bring something, or you make do, like you said, you eat it before you go. There's all kinds of tips and techniques. It's
Yeah,
really possible. And like most of the time you're eating at home so that you have more control, and then dining out and going to social events and being social is part of life. It's part of of America. When's the next holiday? I think it's the 4th of July.
yeah.
So we could
And
talk about that.
Sherry, certainly a barbecue's corn on the cob is big. As long as you're not rolling it in butter and putting tons of salt on it, corn is totally fine at a picnic.
And I
I
like to pick
remember
up
yeah,
the vegetable kebabs. I pick those
sure,
up sometimes. They're
sure.
already made. I
Yeah,
bring them with me, or I make my own and I bring those. And I always like bring extra because other people you'd be surprised when I bring hummus. I bring my salads, my fruit, my kebabs. People always want to eat my food. And I'm so happy to share, because I really want to, turn people onto whole food plant-based, because I'm so passionate about it. But it's definitely something you practice and work at. I don't want you to be afraid of social, I'm trying to make that message out there. Don't be afraid that you
yeah,
can't manage it. You can, and you'll get through it. And it's just one meal. It's not perfection. It's a process. It takes time, and time is all we have.
yeah. We have a great new restaurant in our town called Solber Kitchen, Soul Solber, and
Ah,
we had a salad from lunch from them. They make some prepared salads, a big old hefty salad, quinoa and beets and red cabbage in it, cashews. It was absolutely phenomenal. So, and they have a sit down where you can go in there and sit. And I've noticed that some of the restaurants in our town now, I mean, if you're not offering anything that's vegetarian or vegan or whole food plant-based, you're missing out on a portion of the population that's getting larger. So
yeah.
why not throw something on the menu? I mean, we have a great restaurant in town that's busy like crazy, and I was surprised to see they had a big old quinoa bowl on there with cauliflower, broccoli, and great stuff.
Mhm.
So there's
Right.
options out there now. I think that the restaurant business is waking up to it, and they don't want to exclude people.
No, you're right. And I want to give a few tips too, because it's travel time. A lot of people are getting on the road and going on their summer vacation. And Wendy's has great baked potatoes. Have you eaten at Wendy's? They have a great baked potato with broccoli and cheese sauce. Of course, you tell them to hold the cheese sauce and you get the broccoli without the cheese sauce and the baked potato. I love that. And then Subway, there's Subways everywhere.
Yeah.
So I can get a Subway sandwich. Or some people now are saying the bread isn't healthy, and it probably isn't. But again, it's not perfection. It's a one-time thing. Or I can get the salad, depending on what else I have in my car. I can always add to the salad. Like you said, if I had my sprouts and I had maybe some garbanzo beans and carried in my cooler. I'm always taking a cooler in the car. You just pack your stuff that you have a lot of great things in your cooler that are compliant. And if you want to get out and stretch your legs, you can go to Subway or Wendy's. I've always had good luck there.
Yeah, great. All right, Sheri, I don't think we have a problem with that. It's as I say, it's become easier and easier, and I don't think people look at you funny when you say you don't eat meat anymore. It used to be like, you don't eat any meat,
You're
where's
right.
the
It's
protein?
thank goodness, right? It's becoming more fashionable.
I saw on a commercial or on Facebook now that Kraft is making a vegan mac and cheese, that boxed mac and cheese that they've been selling forever, which was never really cheese to begin with. It was a powdered junk in there that you used to add milk. And I don't know if it was a half or 3/4 of a stick of butter for one little package. I mean, it was mostly butter and milk and some powdery orange stuff to make it look like it was an orange mac and cheese. So I don't believe that vegan, I think some of these companies, you got to really watch them because they're trying to jump on it without really going, it's still ultra processed crap.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for sharing that. It's so true. Everything's stamping plant-based on it or healthy vegan, and you've got to read the labels. I just say if it has more than 5 ingredients, it's processed and unhealthy. And the best thing is to stay out of the boxes with the barcodes and in the produce department and stay in the whole food plant-based. It's pretty simple. And it can be super delicious if you're looking for the healthiest diet on the planet. It's whole
I'm
food
curious,
plant-based.
Sheri, what are you seeing as far as healthy choices of restaurants in your state where you are now versus when you were in California? California was always kind of known to maybe put out a little bit more healthy options. Are you
It's so
seeing what's
true.
up down south a bit more now, or?
Not really. The South isn't as far, isn't forward advanced as, of
Yeah,
course, California. But for me, I did find a restaurant that's compliant. I just have to talk, I can go to a Mexican food restaurant and order fajitas, like I said, and I know how to order
yeah,
whole beans and whole tortillas. I don't eat the chips. And I found another salad place here in town that I say, hold the chicken, and they do cook black beans. I say, hold the chicken and the cheese. I'm getting used to ordering that way. But I think that, there's always baked potatoes too, and I can find those. I'm looking, I live in cattle country in Arkansas, so there's a lot of steak restaurants, but with steaks goes baked potatoes, which I'm really happy to have a baked potato. I just really don't like to even eat in a steakhouse anymore. It really bothers me. When I started whole food plant-based, it was really for health reasons, and now it becomes more animal conscious reasons too, and the compassion. I don't enjoy that atmosphere.
yeah,
But I don't always have the choice. It depends on the company that I'm with. But yeah, it's different. I eat a lot. I eat at home and I love it more
yeah.
than anything. And food is my medicine, and I do enjoy it, but I don't focus on it as much.
Great. Great to see you again, Sheri. We'll
You
talk
too.
again. All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Go to
Bye.
SheriGoodmanGraham.com, and you can also find Sheri on Facebook, Sheri Goodman Graham, plant-based dietitian and lifestyle coach. God bless, Sheri. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Take
Yeah.
care.